السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We have to complete this lesson, inshallah. The 12th, we're going to complete this. Yesterday we stopped at La and Nafiya lil Jins, right? La and Nafiya lil Jins, the Na that negates the entire type or category of something, right? The Jins, a Jins is a type or a category. Male is a jins, female is a jins, man is a jins, woman is a jins. Right? That's what's meant here. The word jins also is used to mean gender. You know, when you fill up a form, they have gender, male, female. In Arabic, if you see on a form jins, meaning male or female. The main thing is understanding the concept. If you don't remember the word, la nafi lil jins, not an issue. Just understanding the concept in general. The first part is recognize it when you see it. La ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Right? You see la followed by a singular word with a single fatha. You know what is meant. You're negating this entire thing, all of it, from the context, right? That is the book. There is no raib in it. There is no doubt in it, meaning you're negating all form of doubt from the Quran. La ilaha. Ilah means God, right? You're negating the existence of anything that is called God, except Allah. Had a question?
Does it come from the word jinsiyah? Sorry, does jinsiyah come from that word?
Yeah. Jinsiyah, that means nationality, comes from the same word. The second thing for this chapter we were going to study is a continuation on masdar. Right? We introduced masdar, we spoke about masdar many times. We are going to cover it a little more, inshallah. In Arabic grammar, the verbal noun, or what's called al-masdar, is a noun derived from a verb that expresses the action or event without specifying the time or doer of the action. That is, without specifying when or by whom it's performed. Clear? The verbal noun, what's the verbal noun? Is the action. Is the action without mentioning who or when. What's meant by who or when? When we say, he ate, akala, we know who ate. Who ate? He. And we know when. When did he eat? In the past. That's what is meant by when. What is meant by when? Past, present, or future. Now the word that describes the action, so eating, the word eating, isn't it an action? Eating. Eating is an action, right? But there is no doer in it, and there is no time. When you say eating, eating drink, eating, let's say, eating pork is haram, right? Eating pork is haram. There is no doer there. We're not saying he is eating pork. We're not saying eating pork in the past, present, or future, right? There is no time that is attributed to it, to the word itself. Now the context, you might be speaking about a specific time in the context. right? Eating yesterday, eating tomorrow, but the word itself indicates no time. It's like the essence or the core meaning of the verb expressed as a noun, right? The masdar is a noun. Remember that. Masdar is a noun. So let's look at the examples below. So we have the verb nasara. Nasara means he helped, right? Nasara means he helped. And the masdar for nasara is what? Huh? What's the masdar for nasara? Nasr, right? Nasr, the help. So an-nasr, an-nasru is the help or the helping. Like إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ, when the help of Allah comes. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ. So here the word nasr is masdar, when the help of Allah come, or when the helping of Allah come. That's called a masdar. Khafa means he feared. Then you have the masdar is al-khawf, the fear or the fright, right? Al-khawf. وَآمَنَهُمْ مِنْ khawf, and he secured them. Make this got to change to capital H, right? The he referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make sure you correct that. وَآمَنَهُمْ, and he secured them from fear, right? He gave them safety and security from what? From fear. So the khawf there is known as the masdar. Now, recognizing the masdar, we're going to mention some benefits in the masdar, because in Arabic, the masdar can be used differently than how it's used in English. That's why we're touching on the masdar. Kada means he plotted. The plot or the plotting is al-kaid. Right? The plot or the plotting. Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil. Haven't he made their plot in stray, right? Abraha and his army, they plot to destroy the Kaaba, and Allah made the plot strayed. They didn't get to fulfill their plot. Hada, he guided. Al-Huda and Al-Hidayah, the guidance, that's the masdar. Right? Ara'ayta in kana ala al-huda. Did you see or have you seen if he was upon huda, if he was upon guidance? In Surah Al-Alaq. Right? The concept of the masdar clear? What is a masdar? Not clear? Clear?
Is it the base word?
Okay. You understand? He guided?
Hada.
No, forget about the Arabic right now, the English. He guided.
Yeah.
And guidance.
Oh.
Right? He guided, that is what? Noun or a verb? Verb. Guidance is what? Noun or a verb? Noun. So the guidance is the masdar, because it's reflecting the meaning of the verb, but it's not a verb.
So basically the base word.
You can say that, but I just want to make sure you get the meaning. He produced. Noun or verb? So what is the masdar of he produced? Production. Clear? He manufactured. Verb, what's the masdar? The manufacturing, right? The manufacturing. And the opposite. So for example, the play. The play is what?
Playing.
Noun or verb?
What do you mean? Play?
The play.
No.
Noun. And the verb is? Right? He played. Or the play or the playing. Now if you add a he or a she or a it to it, becomes he played, he's playing, she played, she's playing, Right? Clear? Now, in English, sometimes the verb and the noun and everything is the same. For example, give me another verb with its masdar. Huh? Huh?
No, jalasa, jalsun.
Jalasa, he sat. Julus is the sitting. Or they have something, you have more than one. Jilsa, jalsa, they're all type of masdar. Clear? For the sisters, clear? Now, a verbal noun can function as a regular noun, appearing as a subject, object, or after a preposition, as in the examples before. Right? It's a noun. A verbal noun is a noun. So a noun can be, it can come as the subject, right? Like Muhammad came, Muhammad is a teacher, right? It's a noun. It can serve as so like a verbal noun with as the subject. For example, Nasrullahi Qarib. The help of Allah is near. So the help of Allah is subject, right? That's what we're talking about. The help of Allah. See, is a regular noun. It can form as an object, right? Like in the example here, where وَآمَنَهُمْ أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ. Haven't he made their plot, right? He made their plot as went astray. So plot there is a object. There's a thing being affected by the made. Right? It can come as a doer, right? The help of Allah came. The help of Allah here is the doer. So it's a regular noun. It can also be used to emphasize or describe a verb or indicate the purpose of an action. Now, this is the part that we want to focus on. Right? Now, some of these here, you can't translate it literally, as you will see. You understand it, translate the meaning. It can also be used to emphasize or describe a verb or indicate the purpose of an action. These functions may have grammatical details which will not be covered here, but we'll cover some briefly. Right, study examples before. Some of these usages are expressed differently in English. So, an example of the masdar being used as an emphasis. When it's used as an emphasis, the masdar will be mansoob, meaning it will have fatha, right? It will have fatha, fathatain. So we have the word darb. Darb means the hitting, right? Darb means the hitting. Zaidun darab al-gulam. Up to here, Zaidun, Zaid, daraba, hit, al-gulam, the young boy. Zaid hit the young boy. Right? Sometimes gulam can be used to refer to a servant. A gulam can also be used to refer to a servant. Servant, young boy, servant. So Zaid hit the young boy. Now when we put darban, Zaidun darab al-gulama darban. Literally it means Zaid hit the young boy a hitting. Now what is meant by that? Emphasis. Meaning he actually hit him. It wasn't a light hit, wasn't a metaphoric hit. He actually hit him. Give him a good hitting. Clear? So this masdar here, daraba, Zaidun daraba al-gulama darban. What is the purpose of it? To emphasize. Zaid hit the young boy a hitting, meaning it's an actual hit. You have the word taqlim. Taqlim means speaking, right? The masdar for kallama. Kallama, he spoke. Yukallimu, he is speaking. The masdar for kallama is taqlim, right? Like sabbaha, tasbih. Kabbara, takbir. Sallama, taslim. So, kallama Allahu Musa. Up to here means Allah spoke to Musa. taklima. Allah spoke to Musa as speaking. What is meant by Allah spoke to Musa speaking? Meaning, he actually spoke to Musa, a real speaking. Right? You're emphasizing the verb. That action took place in its real meaning. Allah actually spoke to Musa. Right? The meaning of the word speak, with words and sound and everything that the word speak necessitates. It's not metaphorically. Right? كَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. Clear? To understand the general concept, as we go through more and more example, we're going to point it out. So when we point it out, you know what we're speaking, what we are referring to. Continuing the usage of the masdar. Another function of the masdar to describe the verb. So like in these two examples, right, we don't use, we won't translate it literal like this. The person might not understand what you're saying. Describe the verb. Zaidun daraba al-ghulama darban khafifan. Zaid hit the young boy. Darban, a hit, a light hitting, right? Darban khafifan. Zaidun daraba al-ghulama darban khafifan. So you want to describe the hitting, you come with the masdar in fatha state, and then you put the adjective next to the masdar. Right? Zaidun daraba al-ghulama darban khafifan. Now if you say Zaidun daraba al-ghulama khafifan, it's going to be correct. But the khafif is going to be an adjective for an hidden word. What's the hidden word? The darban. Right? But it's going to be correct. Hisab means reckoning. Hisab is the masdar for which verb? Hisab. Hisab is songs like what? Hisab. This remember, first thing you got to recognize the scale of the masdar. Hisab, fi'al, siyam, jihad, qital, nifaq. So what's the verb for those? Hasaba, right? Hasaba. Now siyam is not from this scale. No, it's on this scale, but it doesn't go back to the verb of this scale. The three-letter verbs, their masdars are not fixed. Their masdars can take various scale. Right? You just got to know them. But siyam doesn't go back to, for example, sawama. Right? Siyam doesn't go back to sawama. You go back to sawama. But it's on the same scale. So, hisab, reckoning, goes back to the verb hasaba. Right? Hasaba means he reckoned. The present tense, yuhasibu, he is reckoning. So, in the verse, sawfa yuhasabu hisaban yasira. He will be reckoned. Now, yuhasabu means he will be reckoned. Yuhasibu, he is reckoning someone else, but yuhasabu, he will be reckoned. Now, describing the reckoning, you come with the masdar, hisaban, and then put the adjective next to it. Sawfa yuhasabu hisaban yasira. He will be reckoned an easy reckoning. Now, all of these are easy to detect, because even the literal meaning in English, you're going to get the meaning. Right? You got to check the first 20 minutes, because we get an introduction. You can go back, what's the name again? I forget the name. You can go back to the first 20 minutes of the recording and check. The next purpose of the masdar, to show the purpose for the verb or the action. And all of this here is going to be in fatha state. Right? These are some of the purposes, not all of the purposes. So, for example, talaba, seeking or pursuing. The masdar for, talab is seeking or pursuing. The masdar for what? This one should be easy. No, talib is not a verb. What's the verb for talab? Talaba, right? He sought. Talaba yatrubu. He sought. Yatrubu, he seeks. So the masdar, the seeking or the pursuing, is the talab. So we said you can use the masdar to show the purpose. Zaidun dhahaba ila al-madinati. Zaid went to al-Madina, right? To Madina. Why did he went to Medina? Talaban lil ilm. Talaban lil ilm. Seeking for knowledge. Literal meaning, right? Meaning to seek knowledge. Talaban lil ilm. So the masdar here used to do what? Show the purpose why he went. Zaidun dhahaba ila al-madinati talaban lil ilm. He went to the city, he went to Medina to seek knowledge. He went to the Medina seeking lil ilm. Hadar. Hadar means caution. The masdar for hadara, right? He was cautioned. And the caution is the hadar. Like in Surah Baqarah, يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ. يَجْعَلُون, they put. Here it means they put أَصَابِعَهُمْ, their fingers, right? أَصَابِع, fingers, the whom, their fingers, or the fingers of them, fi, in, adhan, ears, him, them, in their ears, min as-sawa'iq, due to the thunder clap. Right, the sawa'iq referring to the thunder claps, the thunder. You know it's thunder? Okay. Right? Sawa'iq is the thunder. This min here it means means due, min as-sawa'iq. Not from the thunderclaps, right? Due to the thunderclaps. The thunders are clapping, so they put their fingers in there. I mean, the thunder is roaring, they put their fingers in their ears. Why is it they are doing that? Hadar al-maut, out of caution of death, meaning not to die, so that they will not die, right? So they're fearing that they're going to die. So they put their hands in their ears. Now, with the purpose, one of the ways to detect that it is a purpose and not an emphasis is that the masdar going to be different than the verb that they are doing. The masdar is going to be different from the verb that they are doing. When it's emphasis, the masdar going to be the same as the verb, because you're emphasizing the verb, right? Generally speaking. Zaid daraba, Zaid hit darban. So it can be Zaid is hitting the boy because of hitting lightly. It doesn't make sense, right? But if I say جاء المدرس or جاء المدير ضربا لزيد جاء المدير ضربا لزيد. The principal came, جاء المدير Darban li Zaid. So what is going to mean? He came to hit Zaid, right? To punish Zaid. So just putting the masdar in the fatha form, in the mansub form, shows the purpose of the verb. And there are examples, other examples in the Quran. Now, if I say ذهبت إلى السوق, what is the meaning of that? ذهبت إلى السوق. I went to the market. لأبيع, where is لأبيع? Where is أبيع? أبيع, I sell, right? I sell. So li abi', to sell, right? To sell. لأبيع السيارات or الطماطم, anything, right? To sell the cars, to sell the tomatoes. Showing purpose, why I went to the market. Another way I can express that, ذهبت إلى السوق بيعا للطماطم. ذهبت إلى السوق بيعا للطماطم. I went to the market to sell tomatoes, right? Or to sell بيعا للسيارة, to sell cars. They have different ways to express it.
Can you write it down?
Hmm?
Can you write it on the board?
The example? Who tempered or tampered? Huh? Where y'all write on? Right? ذهب محمد إلى مكة حجا. What is the meaning? Muhammad went to Makkah, ila Makkata, went to Makkah a Hajj, right? No, Masdar, and the context indicating that purpose. He went to Makkah to make Hajj, right? He went to Makkah to make Hajj, right? Hajj from the verb hajja, right? Hajja, yahujju. Hajja yahujju means he made Hajj, he is making Hajj. And you can say ذهب محمد إلى مكة ليحج. ليحج. When to say this and when to say this, up to you, right? I went to Makkah to make Hajj. I went to Makkah for the purpose of Hajj. I went to Makkah in order to perform Hajj. When are you going to say which one you want to say? Up to you, right? You say what you want to say and form your sentence how you want it. But the grammar just telling you how to do it if you choose this means. Clear? Clear? Why you look last? All right. Hajja Muhammadun. Hajja Muhammadun. Talaban. You can see it. What is the meaning? What is ajr? reward, right? Li. Al-akhirah is the hereafter. What's the meaning of the sentence? Right? He made Hajj. Why he made Hajj? Seeking the reward of the akhirah. How many? Okay. We're gonna make one thing. Let's finish out the first session. Then we're gonna call adhan and break. Okay. Are these any question on this concept? The next thing on this chapter, other means of showing possessions. Other means of showing possessions. Now, those usage of the masdar are some of the usage of the masdar. Not all the usage of the masdar, right? It's just an introduction. The masdar can be used sometimes as the verb. It can be used to show numbers, like how many times the verb took place. It can be used to show the state of the verb. Previously, we studied the mudaf and al-mudaf ilay construction for showing possession. Here we'll explore other means to show possession. Right? Some of it we came across. Like li means li, using li or la, right? To show possession. Li sayyaratun, I have a car, meaning a car belongs to me. Right? Alhamdulillah, all praise belongs to Allah. A lot of people, they translate this li as to, but it's incorrect, right? It's belonging, show possession. All praise belongs to Allah. All praise is for Allah, maybe. Lahu al-mulk is the same la, but with hu, it's easier to say lahu than lihu. Right? So this change from li to la is not for grammar, it's for ease of pronunciation. Right? Lahul mulk, the mulk, the kingdom, lahu belongs to him. Belongs to him is the kingdom. Walahul hamd belongs to him is praise. Right? That's clear. Huh?
So, is it a problem if I put a kisra on the van?
Lihu?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. The problem is not eloquent. When used with nouns, li functions similarly to a preposition. What is meant by that? Meaning the word after it takes a kasra. Right? Remember, after a preposition, the word after it takes kasra, or more specifically, it's in majroor state. So if I say, the land belongs to the Muslims. Muslims, what are you going to say? Al-ardu li, al-muslimun, or al-muslimin. Oh, sorry. Let's switch. Next time someone say, just turn on their mic and let me know. Right? Al-ardu belongs li al-muslimin, because after li has to be majrur, and we said Muslims is majrur with the ya. Right? The book belongs to the two students. Al-kitabu li at-tali bani, no, at-tali baini. When used as a possession, it indicates ownership or specificity. There is a word? Specificity, whatever the word is. Meaning, the item belongs to or is specific to the object. Right? It's generally with possession, showing possession. The same thing with mudaf ilay. right? The table belongs to the teacher. Doesn't mean I own the table, but it's specific for me. An example of that is هذا الفصل لكم. Like if I say new students and I said this classroom is for you, this classroom belongs to you, meaning it's specific for you, right? It is specific for you. For ease of pronunciation, the kasra might change to fatha. Right? We did, that is clear. Continuing other means of showing possession. Showing possession with dhu, dha, the for masculine or dhatu for feminine. Dhatu, dhata, dhati. Now this word dhu, dha, the, you can translate it as possessor of. Right? For example, هذا الرجل ذو مال literally means this man is a possessor of wealth. And ذو, the, and dhatu, they're all mudaf, right? Mudaf ilay. They're all mudaf and mudaf ilay. Let's pause here. Inshallah, we're going to continue after this salah. We call adhan, but continue after the salah, not after the adhan. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
Listen to the ash. Listen to the ash.
أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We screw it in. All right. Where are we? We started the various means of showing possession. Right? We had an abrupt pause. So we're going to continue. Okay, notice this word, dhu. Dhu is a means of showing possession. I don't think this word exists in English as it is in Arabic, 100%. When you say someone is dhu something, it means they have this description, right? Or they possess this quality, or they possess this thing. Now, the easiest way to understand it is just going through a lot of examples. So, one thing you can do, you go to a Quran search app, type in the word dhu, now, and then go through all the examples with dhu that you see. Or type in the word the, and go through all the examples. Now when you type in the, you might end up seeing alladhi, alladhina. So you got to look for see where it's just the and study the examples. But as I said, it's an introduction, so we can't cover too much examples, but inshallah this is going to be sufficient to get an idea. So if you were to say, هذا الرجل, this man, ذو مال, is a possessor of wealth, it means this man has wealth, this man is wealthy. Right? هذا الرجل ذو مال, this man is a possessor of wealth. Now in English we don't really speak like that. So for example, if I was to see a car parked in the middle of the driveway, and someone was to point to a man and say, هذا الرجل ذو السيارة. Right? This man is the possessor of the car. Meaning this man, he's the owner of the car, he's the person with the car. Understand? It's a word used to show possession. Possession of a description, possession of a quality, possession of something tangible, wealth, anything. Yeah. Now the word dhu and the word that comes with it is always in a mudaf and mudaf ilay construction. The word dhu and that which comes after it is always in a mudaf and mudaf ilay construction. Now this is amongst the words that don't move with fatha, dam and kasra. So what's the difference between dhu, dha and the? Dhu is when it's marfu, dha is when it's mansub, and the is when it's majrur. So dhu is the dhamma equivalent, dha is the fatha equivalent, and the is the kasra equivalent. Right? For example, in Surah Maryam, وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ. Right? Possessor of al-jalal. And in the end of the surah, what is the end of the surah? The last verse. تَبَارَكَ اسْمُ رَبِّكَ ذِي الْجَلَالِ. Right? So the first one, dhu, because it's in dhamma state. The last one, the, because it is in the kasra state. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. That is the favor of Allah, the bounty of Allah. يُؤْتِيهِ, He gives it, man, whosoever, yasha, He wills. وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ. And Allah is the possessor of the great favor or the great bounty. Right? Meaning Allah is the one who has the fadl and the favor. Now let's take some quick example, other example, with the and the tha. Right, as we say, dhu so if we were to say Ahmad ذو زوجين. What is the meaning? Possessor of two zawj, meaning he has two zawj. If I say رأيت ذا سيارة فاخرة. Now I saw, the thing I saw is supposed to be mansub, fatha state, because it's the object. So that's why you're going to use dha here, not dhu. So I saw a possessor of a sayyara is car. Fakhira is, you can say like luxurious, right? Very expensive. So I saw a possessor of a very expensive car. Meaning, now I give this example because this actual, if you translate literally, is not the same expression how we're going to say it in English. What it means, I saw a person who has a very expensive car. رَأَيْتُ ذَا سَيَّارَةٍ فَاخِرَةٍ. Right? I saw a person who has a very expensive car. You can just express it like this in Arabic. Right? And even if you now if you were to say instead of ra'aytu, say marartu. Marartu bi. Be the and same sentence. Now marartu means I pass by. The be used with I pass, the be is used with this word, right? I pass by. In English say pass by, in Arabic say marartu bi. So I want to say I pass by a person with a very expensive car. Right? Marartu bi dhi sayyaratin fakhiratin. I pass by a possessor of a very expensive car. Right? I pass by a possessor of a very expensive car. Meaning I pass by someone with a very expensive car. Clear? So that is the difference between the dhu, the dha, and the thee. The dhu, the tha, and the thee. Now all of those are for, watch the cable. All of those are for the masculine. Now what about the feminine? The feminine, you use the word dhatu. Now the word dhatu, if it is marfu state, it works like a regular word. Marfu state, dhamma. Mansub state, fatha. Majrur state, kasra. So you say dhatu, dhata, dhati. Sayasla naran. Okay, we gotta go back. Sayasla naran. He will burn in a fire. Dhata lahab. Right? And this fire is a possessor of lahab, blazing flame. A fire. He's going to burn in a fire possessing blazing flame. Now fire here is mansub, so the that has to be mansub because here it came as a adjective. Right? So adjective has to follow the noun. So dhatu, fire is naran, so the that got to be fatha state. And this is a word is fatha state with fatha. It's mansub with fatha. Now, why you use that for fire and not the? Because remember we said all the names for fire are feminine. All the names for fire are feminine. Right? All the names for fire are feminine. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْعِ. Right? By the sky, the possessor of ar-raj'. Ar-raj meaning the returning cycle. From raja'a, he returned. Ar-raj, the returning. So Allah is swearing by the sky, and this sky is possessor of ar-raj'. The literal meaning, right? But understand how it's used. Allah is swearing by the sky that from the description of the sky is that it has the rain, which Allah described here, the raj referring to the rain. Why is the rain returning? Because remember, the rain fall and it evaporates, they go back, form a cloud and fall, right? Cycle. Wal ardi dhati sada, and by the earth, possessor of the sada, possessor of the cracks. Now, as you can see, the actual expression is not exactly in English. Just understand the usage, translate it appropriately. So by the art, that is sad, by the art, possessor of the cracks. You can say by the art which has cracks or something like that. This is in Surah Tariq. You can check the official meaning. Note the word dhu, dha, dhi. We said these are with nouns follow, with the nouns that follow them are actually in the mudaf and mudaf ilay construction. Right, the word dhu, dha, dhi means the same but different ending based on the grammatical state. Nouns that show the place and time of an object. ظرف. Now before we go to ظرف, let's go back to the masdar. Recognizing the masdar. Now we did some. Now this is another table. You have to learn a template from it, right? The three-letter verbs, they don't have a fixed masdar. So you just have to learn them, right? So we're not going to deal with the three-letter verbs. For example, kataba, he wrote. The masdar for kataba is what? What's the writing? Kitabatun, right? Kitaba. Kataba, kitaba. So, kataba. The masdar for kataba is kitabatun. The masdar for jalasa is what? Julusun, right? Now some of these words have more than one masdar. The masdar for qara'a is what? Qira'a. Qira'atun. The masdar for, give me three-letter verbs. Hajja is hajjun, right? The masdar for, what else? Huh? Just give me random three-letter verbs. Kharaja, kharaja gonna be like khuruj, like julus, right? Khuruj. Raja'a gonna be like this, ruju'. Huh? Talaba is talabun, right? So the three-letter verbs, you get baqiya is the baqa, and so on. Huh? That is not three-letter. Right? So we're not going to focus on the three-letter verbs. Now, more than three-letter verbs, there is a pattern. So we can recognize it easily. More than the three-letter verbs. Now, every time you come across a three-letter verbs, go to the dictionary, find the masdar. Right? Go to the dictionary and find the masdar, so you get used to the masdar. Because the masdar have fixed some scales. So anytime you see anything on the scale, like julus, fa'ul, you're going to know it's a masdar, most likely. Right? So if you see the word ruju, right? Khuruj, julus, what else? We want to know say like this. Qira'a, diraya, hajj. Another masdar like hajj. Ad, baqa, liqa. Now with the more than three letter, there is a fixed scale. So words, let's start with simple words. Aslama, right? We know the masdar for aslama is Islam. If it's shaped like aslama, the masdar is Islam. Once there is no weak letter in these letters here, right? There is no waw, there is no alif, there is no ya. It's going to be like Islam. If if you see it like a'adda, a'adda means he prepared. Prepared. Now a'adda, aslama is on the scale af'ala, and a'adda is on the scale, is on the same scale af'ala. But because there is a shadda, it looks different. But we're not going to look at the scale. Okay? It can get confusing if you look at it from the point of view of the scale. We're just going to look at it from the actual verb. Right? So here we have the hamza, which is not from the root of the verb. Remember, this hamza is not from the root. Root of the verb mean what? The three-letter root. The root is sin, lam, mim. This hamza is from the scale. This hamza is from the scale. Now if you see one like a'adda, meaning you have an extra hamza plus a shadda on the verb, the masdar going to be i'dad. I'dad. You see the general looks is the same. Is, lam, i'dad. Right? Now you have word like sabbaha. 4 letters, shadda in the middle. No weak letter. The masdar going to be what? Tasbih, right? We all know the meaning of tasbih. Clear? So kabbara going to be what? Takbir, sallama, taslim, kharraja going to be takhrij, kharraja, takhrij. Clear? You doing good? Now, if it has 3 letters with a shadda, 4 letters with a weak letter at the end, the ya. For example, the word zakka. Now, zakka is on the same scale, but we have a weak letter, so it looks a little different. Now, if it's shaped like this, the masdar going to be what? What is the masdar for zakka? Tazkiyah. Tazkiyatun. Now, like I said, these are technically in the same scale, but it's looking different because of the weak letter. So anything like this, the masdar going to be like this. Right? Zakka, tazkiyah. Zakka, tazkiyah. Right? Everyone should know zakka and tazkiyah. Right? Zakka means to purify yourself. The purification, the self-purification is tazkiyah. Another word like this here. Rabba. Right? Another word like that is rabba. Where is the masdar for rabba? Everyone should know that too. Tarbiyah. Right? Zakka, tazkiyah, rabba, tarbiyah. So rabba means to do tarbiyah. Somebody said, Rabbi awladak, meaning give them tarbiyah. Right? So knowing these scales, you can recognize the masdar. Another masdar like zakka, rabba. Anything famous? Now let's go to our next. Yeah, but what is the meaning of that? No. Another scale, famous qatala. Qatala. Now note where the root letters are. Here, the extra is the alif. Here, the extra is a shadda. Here, the extra is the hamza. Right? Qaf, ta, lam. What is the masdar? فَقَاتَلَ. Huh? We did that a few times. قَاتَلَ. Huh? Qital. Qital or muqatala, right? This one has two masdar, qital or muqatala. Muqatala. Right? Qital or muqatala. Remind me, there's a competition. Let me mention what's the competition for the class. Competition with a prize. So, like jahada, same scale, right? Jahada, the masdar going to be jihad, mujahada, nafaqa, nifaq, munafaqa. Another scale is the intaqala scale, like for example the word intaqala. Intaqala. Now here the extra is this ta and this alif. The noon, the qaf and the lam is from the root. Remember, the verbs generally has 3-letter roots, right? Those are the extra. Those are from the scale. But if you see a word looking like intaqala, what's the meaning of intaqala? He moved. Intaqala, like migrate, move. You move to a next apartment, move to a next city, that kind of move. Right? The masdar going to be intiqal. Intiqal. Right? Intaqala, intiqal. Qatala, qitalun, muqatala. Intaqala, intiqal. Like the word iqtaraba. Iqtaraba. Same word, right? So iqtaraba means what? To draw near. The masdar going to be what? Iqtaraba, like iqtarabati sa'a, the hour draw near, wan shaqqa al-qamar. So iqtaraba, the masdar, if the masdar is on the same scale like intiqal, where are you going to be? Huh? Iqtirab, right? Intaqala, going to be iqtirab. Iqtaraba, iqtirab. Then you have the scale like istaghfara. Istaghfara. What is the meaning of istaghfara? Seek forgiveness. The masdar is istighfar. Istighfar. So any word looking like that, same masdar. So istakhraja means to extract. The masdar going to be what? The extraction. If istaghfara is istighfar, istakhraja going to be what? Istikhraj. Right? Istantaqa going to be what? Istintaq. Right? Just memorize them. So like that, it can roll on your tongue. What does it mean of istantaqa? From nutq. What is nutq? Nataqa yantiqu. Wa ma yantiqu anil hawa. Eh? The opposite. He utter. He spoke or he utter. Wa ma yantiqu anil hawa. He doesn't utter from his desire. He doesn't speak from his desire. Now, this scale here, as I said before, all of these scales have meanings that are general. It's not absolute to all the example, but it's general. So istaghfara, when you add, what's the root? Ghain, fa, and ra. What is ghafara? Ghafara means what? Ghafara Allahu lahu. Allah forgive him, right? Ghafara means he forgive. When you add Hamza, Sin, and Ta to a word, to a three-letter verb, it gives you the general meaning of seeking. So Ghafara means he forgive. Istaghfara means he seeks forgiveness. Kharaja means he left. Istakhraja means you seeking him out to leave, you extracting. Right? Nataqa means he spoke. Istamtaqa, you're seeking for him to speak. Right? You're requesting for him to speak. Like in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned that the fingers gonna be they're gonna be mustamtaqun on the day of judgment. They're going to be requested to speak and testify on behalf of those who use them to seek forgiveness. Or tustamtaku, I think that's what it's used. Tustamtaku, right? They're going to be requested to speak. So istaghfara, istighfar, istakhraja, istikhraj, and so on. Now you have in the verb اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. The verb انشق. In shaqqa. In shaqqa. The masdar gonna be in shiqaq. In shiqaq. Right? So in shaqqa means in shaqqa al-qamar, the moon was split. So the inshiqaq of the qamar, the splitting of the moon. So someone asks, when did the inshiqaq of the qamar happen? When did the splitting of the moon happen? Right? Inshiqaq. So those are some of the masadir. And as we come across them, we're gonna know them, inshallah. Okay. Everyone know that? Let's continue. 602. The dharf. Nouns that show the place and time of an event. Dharf. Remember, when we did preposition, we said that things that are called prepositions in English are not all in the same category in Arabic. Anybody remember that? In English, prepositions are like what? In, on, under, above, behind, in front. All of those things are prepositions in English, correct? But all of them in Arabic are not the same category. In Arabic, they are not the same category. Those that are, we got on the board. Wipe them out. Those that are nouns, they are considered dharf. And if they are particles, they are considered harf jar, or what it normally translate as preposition. Those that are nouns, you call them dharf. And those that are particles, you call them harf jar. Now, don't Like I said always, the main thing is not the names, it's the concept, right? Understanding the concept. You can forget the name, it's not a problem. So, in Arabic words, right? A word in Arabic is either a verb, fi'l, right? That's clear. Everyone knows a fi'l. Or a noun, ism, right? Or what you call harf. Particle. What you call harf, particle. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Right? Harf. Did we change? Right? A word in Arabic is either a fi'l, a ism, or a harf. Verbs clear. Nouns, for the most part, clear. What is a particle? Particle is a word that cannot stand by itself. Right? You got to use it with something, generally speaking. For example, the word in. In. If I just say in, give you any meaning? It didn't give you no meaning, no benefit. Right? It can't stand by itself. You can't use it by itself. You got to use it with something, in something. Those are particles. Now, for what we call preposition in English, if it is a noun in Arabic, they call it dharf. So prepositions, they're either, now this is English, right? Preposition English. They're either an Arabic noun or it's an Arabic harf, particle. Right? What we call preposition in English is either an Arabic noun or is Arabic particle. If it's an Arabic noun, it's known as dharf. Arabic particle is known as harf jar. Right? I leave out if harfu jar. If it's an Arabic noun, always mudaf. Right? The mudaf ilay construction. And if it's an harf jar, it's a harf jar. What comes after it takes a kasra state. Right? But if it's an Arabic noun, it's always considered a dharf. Mudaf ilay construction. Meaning the first word will always have a single vowel, and the second word will be in majrur state, kasra state. Right? So, now, Arabic, now these here, the dharf, they always show place or time. Right? They always show place or time of an event. For the particles in Arabic, not necessary. Right? Like the word li is a particle, is a harf jar. Right? Meaning belongs to. But doesn't show place or time. Many nouns are considered dharf in Arabic. Or where are we? Many nouns that are considered dharf in Arabic are preposition in English, such as under, taht, fawq, above, amam, in front, khalf, behind, etc. These are all nouns in Arabic. These are all nouns in Arabic. We call them preposition in English, right? Now, when a dharf is attached to a word for a specification, it forms a mudaf and mudaf ilay construction, right? Specification meaning, if you just say under what is not specified. But when you say under the bed, above the bed, under the chair, above the chair, in front of the masjid, specifying under where, in front of where, above where, in front, behind where. Clear? Huh? All y'all sleeping today. Right? So, for example, tahta sarir, under the bed, right? You're specifying underwear. So anytime it's the dharf is used with a noun to specify underwear, above where, in front of where, behind where, it's considered a mudaf and a mudaf ilay construction. First word, single vowel. Second word, kesra state, right? Now there is a next addition, and that is here. A noun indicating place or time of an event, right? Indicating place or time of an event is in the mansub form, always in the mansub form. So that will make the first word always in a mansub form, generally always having a fatha. So that's why you're going to always see tahta, fawqa, amama, khalfa, and not, you're not going to see khalfu or khalfi or, khalfu or khalfi. The only thing that can change this is if you put a a harf jar, like fi. Because remember, dharf are nouns, and you can put fi behind a noun, right? You can put min behind a noun. You can put a particle behind a noun. The particles, you can put them behind a noun. And remember, the dharf, they are nouns. So like in the Quran, you see min fawq, min fawqi, right? Min fawqi ru'usihim. How you can put min before above? Because the word above in Arabic is a noun. And particles, you can put them behind a noun. So, as you were seeing, so there are two things here you got to keep in mind. Once it's showing place and time, it's going to take fatha, right? And once it's a dharf, meaning it's a noun, an Arabic noun, how are you going to know? You got to just learn it. Just know. Right now we know taht and fawq and amam and khalf, they're all Arabic nouns. It's going to be a mudaf and mudaf ilay construction. So let's look here. Single word. As a single word, Ra'aytu Muhammadan yawman. I saw Muhammad one day. Now this word yawman, why is it having a fatha? Because remember, it's a noun indicating the place and the time of an event. When did I saw Muhammad? Right? One day. So I put yawman in fatha state. Clear? Huh? Once the noun showing the place and the time, you got to be in fatha state. Now remember, certain words, they are always used to show place or time, like above. You're not going to say above came, right? Above is always used to show place. Above is always used to show place. But yawm, is it always used to show place? Not necessary. It can be the doer. The day of judgment came. The day of Jumu'ah came. Right? You're not seeing something happen on the day of Jumu'ah. Right? There it's doer. Ra'aytu Zaidan, I saw Zaid Yawm al-Jum'ah, on the day of Jum'ah. Now why is Yawm al-Jum'ah? Because you're saying this is the time that you saw Zaid, or when you saw Zaid. So that is why it has to take Fatha. Right? Ra'aytu Zaidan, when I saw Zaid, Yawm al-Jum'ah. Now if I was to say the day of Jum'ah came, what are you going to say? Ja'a yawmu al-Jum'ah. Because there I'm not saying something happened on the day of Jum'ah. So it's going to be duar. Ja'a yawmu al-Jum'ati. Another example. I traveled in the morning. What's the word for morning? Sabah. If I want to say this is a beautiful morning. Hadha sabahun jamilun. Showing place and time of anything? No. Right? Noun is a subject and predicate. This is, where is this is? A beautiful morning. Hadha sabahun jamilun. Right? Now if I want to say something is happening in the morning, I got to make it fatha state. Because now it became dharf. Safartu sabahan. I traveled in the morning. Why sabahan takes fatha? Time that I am traveling. Right? Safartu laylan. I travel at night. I want to say hadha laylun jamilun. Beautiful night. You're not indicating something happening. Right? When I say safartu laylan, I traveled at night. Now remember this, I travel at night, I travel in the morning, is general. I'm not specifying. Now I want to say which morning I travel, you got to be mudaf ilay. Right? I traveled the morning of Eid. Safartu sabah al-Eid. Mudaf ilay. Safartu layl al-Eid. I traveled the night of Eid. Right? The night of Eid. The literal translation show you is mudaf ilay. Night of, morning of. Right? Clear? With the help of the translation, add the vowels to the following sentences. This homework is due. Right? It's due before I reach in towards this class by 3 hours. Right? Don't wait 1 hour, half an hour before the class and the homework. Then we can discuss if any issue. Right, this homework is due. But before before you do the homework, right, everyone show an example of where the vowel changed because of what do you call it? The meaning. In Surah Al-Infitar. Everyone remember Surah Al-Infitar? Let me mushaf. I don't want it. Right? Who have a mushaf? If you can't picture the verse, you can open your mushaf. How much time we have? 10 minutes. It's going to be too much to write. Okay. Surah Al-Infitar. Look at from verse 15. Yaslawnaha yawmaddin. Yaslawnaha yawmaddin. Right? You have fatha there. Then look at verse 17. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. Right? ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ. Then the next one. يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. So we have 2 with fatha and 2 with dhamma. What's the meaning of the 2 with fatha? The first one, yaslawnaha, they will burn in it, meaning the fire, yawmaddin, on the day of judgment. It's telling you place and time. When they're going to burn. When? On the day of judgment. So you got to put it fatha, yawmaddin. The second one is a general question. Ma yawmuddin. What is the day of judgment? Right? Ma yawmuddin. Thumma ma adraka ma yawmuddin. Question repeat. Then what will make you know what is the day of judgment? They not tell you something happening. right? Question. Then the next one, place and time. Answering the question. The day of judgment is يَوْمَ لَا تَمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. When, the day when no soul will benefit another soul anything. Like for example, if I ask you, where is Muhammad? And you said, in the shop. Meaning, Muhammad is in the shop, right? You just answer the question without repeating the introductory statement. So the question was, when is the day of judgment? So the full statement will be, Yawmuddin yawma la tamliku nafsun li nafsin shay'a. Yawmuddin, the day of judgment is when? Yawma la tamliku, when no soul will benefit, the day when no soul will benefit. So that is the second, that yawm there is telling you place and time, right? The day when no soul will benefit any soul anything, or no soul will possess for any soul anything, right? For you see in the next surah Mutaffifin, Yawma yakumun nasu li rabbil alamin. Right? The day when mankind will stand, meaning on the day when mankind will stand to the Lord of Alameen. What is that?
Fish.
Hmm?
Fish.
Right? So when you read in the Quran, pay attention to the word Yawm. If you go to Surah Al-Inshiqaq, Mutaffifin, right? The third to last verse. فَالْيَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. Right? Why is فَالْيَوْمَ and not فَالْيَوْمُ? Because it's saying, so today, this day, the meaning on the day of judgment, those who believe will laugh at the disbeliever, telling you when it's going to happen. Right? So that is, in brief, dharf. So things showing the noun that shows the time and the place of an action will be in fatha state. What's going to change that is if you put a preposition, a harf jar before it, like fi or min before it, because in Arabic you can do so, right? So for example, if I want to say the word qabl, we have it here, qablu. Okay, let's put that one on the board. I want to say the teacher came before, I get this, right? Let's say the students came before the teacher. Ja'a at-tullabu before qabl al-mudarris. Now the word qabl is a noun. Now we want the students came before the teacher. We're going to say qablu, qabla, qabli. What we got to say? Qabla, right? Because it's dharf, showing the time and the place, or place. Here is time. They came before the time. He came before the teachers. Now remember, this is before the teacher. This is a noun. So noun, it's possible for you to put a preposition, a particle, a harf before it. So you can say ja'a tullab min qabli al-mudarris. Min qabli al-mudarris. But if there is nothing to affect the word, it's going to be fatha. Now what's the difference between ja'a tullab qabla al-mudarris and ja'a tullab min qabli al-mudarris? In the Quran, you get a lot. You get where it's qabla and min qabli. What's the difference in the meaning? The opposite, actually. The first one is general, right? The students came before the teacher. It doesn't indicate anything specific. It can be 1 minute before, 1 second before, an hour before. The main thing, they came before. But when you say min qabli, it indicates closeness, like just before the teacher. Right? There is some closeness. That is the implication of the min. Right? All right. Any questions on what preceded? We have the competition. You all ready for the competition? Huh?
No.
Huh?
Yes, yes.
The competition is, now we did the doer form of the verbs, right? We did the doer form of verbs. We said if it is 3-letter verbs, how you form the doer? On the scale fa'il, right? You put a alif after the first root letter. The first letter has a fatha, and the second to last letter has a kasra. And if it's not 3-letter verb, meaning it's 4 and more, you put a meme with a dhamma, and the second to last letter is what? Huh? Kasra. Right? Meme with a dhamma, and the second to last letter is a kasra. Now the challenge, the competition, you're going to have first, second, and third place. Huh? No. First, second, and third. Don't worry with the place you're going to get. But just doing it and using your brains to look and to think is going to help you build. Surah As-Safat. Surah As-Safat. Everyone know where Surah As-Safat? Extract the doer forms that you find in Surah As-Safat. The one with the most doer forms, and write the meaning. Right? You don't have to put the verb that it comes from. Just extract the doer forms. Not the doer meaning, right? If it has a doer meaning in English. Right? The doer forms. In other words, it's on the scale fa'il, whether plural or singular, or on with the meme dhamma and the kasra before the second to last. Extract the doer forms of Surah As-Safat. Right? This don't text this competition in the group. This is for who attend the class. Right? Or should we text it in the group? All right, text it in the group. Everybody. Right? The doer forms. So who has the most doer forms from the surah? That's the number first place, the second most, second place, third most, third place. One gift for one thing for brothers and sisters all together, or separate? We're gonna see. Let me leave that ambiguous. Because y'all might be in trouble.
What is the price?
My sisters might take all the price. No, the price got to be hidden. You can't announce the price unless it's a real big $1 million. You know everybody gonna run behind, right? But in the classroom situation, you can't announce the price because some people might say, "Oh, I have that already," or something. Right, the price. All right. So that's the class first. And remember, right, this is homework. With the help of the translation, add the vowels to the following sentences. Right? add the vowels to the following sentences. Make sure if you can send it in by tomorrow, it's going to be good. So we can go through it, inshallah. We have and tomorrow or Thursday, whichever day we finish early, we're going to discuss the other plans, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. We officially finish. Any questions? If not, whoever wants to leave can leave. If no questions, we're going to shut down, inshallah.